Hey everybody, so glad you're with us on this week's episode. That's South Padre Island right in the background. We're coming to you from about as far south in Texas as you can go without jumping over into Mexico. We're going to be doing what may turn out to be the most difficult thing we've ever done on this TV show. We're going to try to catch one of the most challenging fish that swims anywhere in Texas waters. I'll tell you what it is and a lot more about it momentarily. Why? Because Fox Sports Outdoors is on the air right now.
You're watching the only program with weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southeast region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
That is the beautiful crystal clear waters of the bay right behind South Padre Island. In fact, that's the bridge leading from the mainland over to the island right in the background. But that is not where we're going today. We are going to do something much more challenging on this week's episode. First thing we're going to do is launch that beautiful Mako 21 LTS, completely rigged out with all the nice stuff, including my favorite 4-stroke Mercury outboard. And we're going to drive about 20 miles south of here to the Brownsville ship channel, or the port of Brownsville. Now, what's down there, you might ask? Snook. It's the only catchable population of snook along the entire length of the Texas Gulf Coast. Now, I put catchable in parentheses because there are not very many of them and they're very difficult to catch. In fact, this will make my third trip trying to catch snook on this television show, and I am the big O-fer right now. I'm 0 for 2. I have spent 2 full trips fishing hard for snook, and I've yet to catch my first Texas snook. But we're going to give it one more shot on this week's episode, and while we're down there trying to catch one of these, we're taking you around your local region for your fishing reports for this week from our expert team of insider reporters. So let's get this Mako launched, let's get started down to the ship channel, and let's get you started back at the FSN studios with your weekend planner.
It looks like both days of the weekend will offer fair fishing conditions. The lunar tables are indicating peak morning activity to begin at 9:19 on Saturday and 10:08 on Sunday, with the best action in the evening slated to start at 9:44 and 10:32 respectively. Look for the sun to rise at 7:21 and set at 7:13. In evenings, will feature a moon that is 74% visible. Stay with us for freshwater and coastal fishing information from around the region. Plus, I'll return with 2015 Classic Champion Casey Ashley for this week's Ask the Pro question.
Well, it looks like we've made it. We got the Mako 21 LTS launched, and we've made the 20-minute run south from South Padre Island down to the port of Brownsville. And as you can see in the background, if you're going to be fishing down here, this is industrial fishing, to say the least. You're going to be fishing around all kinds of machinery and oil platforms and docks and noise like crazy. So you got to get used to fishing around all that. If you're going to be up here, and there are several off-limits areas, so you got to be careful if you come up here to know where you're fishing and fishing in the right spot so it's not dangerous. So we'll try to take it easy up in here, and we're going to try to catch a snook for you. So we're going to get ready, start fishing. We take a quick break for word from our sponsors. We will be back to far south Texas right after this.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Motor Guide Trolling Motors. Motor Guide, because accuracy matters. Lowrance Electronics, celebrating 60 years of fish finding excellence. Find, navigate, dominate. And Excite Technologies, powering the world forward.
I got one, and he's got me all the way back underneath the boat. Got him. There's one right here. I got one. Welcome back, everybody. I'm in a rodeo right here now. I've got a snook on, and he's got me going to deep water. So I'm just gonna spin the boat around here. Come up here, buddy. I got him. All right, we've caught one. I've been fishing a lot of hours to catch that fish. And it's just a decent snook. Caught him on a little soft plastic bait right there. We'll show you all the gear later. Not done fighting yet. So there we go. There is a Brownsville ship channel snook. Man, I don't know how many hours I have fished to catch that fish right there, but it's a bunch. And again, it's no monster or anything, but he gave me a real fight for my money and ran me under the boat 2 or 3 times. I'll show you where that fish was in just a second, but I'm gonna let him go back right here. I don't even know what they have to be kept. And away he goes. And I'll spin you around here and show you that he's on the point of a rock riprap here. If you like fishing for bass, this is going to be your thing. You can see right here in front of me, this is a real steep rock riprap. And I'm just throwing that little plastic shrimp with a lead head just off the rocks, keeping my rod tip high, hopping it up, and a snook ran out there and grabbed it. All right, let's get you some fishing and lake reports from our insider reporters.
Hey folks, it's time for your Carolinas report this week, brought to you by the Dead Dog Saloon. Remember, hey, when you're in the Carolinas, you're along the Grand Strand and right here on the Marsh Walk, make sure you put us on your list of destinations to visit. We're open 7 days a week for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and here it's always about the food, the view, and the music. And I'll tell you what, we've had Hurricane Irma come by. We've had Hurricane Jose out there dancing around. The ocean has been crazy. It's been a little bit rough. We've gotten a big swell from Jose recently. But I tell you, the bite is incredible. Redfish along the beach is the go-to species right now. Get out there with some cut bait, throw it out on the bottom, get it out there in those breakers, and you're gonna have a good time right now, whether it's in South Carolina or up in North Carolina. The fish are following all the schools of mullet and menhaden right now that are making their way down the beach. It's been also a great species to target in the backwaters with some of these extremely high tides we've had. A lot of guys have been getting out on those flats and chasing those tails. A fiddler crab or anything that mimics a crab work great back in that grass. Also, the offshore bite is just going to get better and better as these water temperatures cool. We'll get that Hurricane Jose out of here, get out there in the Gulf Stream, find the live bait that is right there stacked in that 180 to 200 foot of water out on that ledge. You're going to get some nice wahoo and watch for the blackfin to start showing up any day now. This has been your Carolinas report. It's brought to you by the Dead Dog Saloon. Remember, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.
We want to take a minute to share some of the many Costa Catch of the Week entries we've received this year. These photos were not selected as winners, but we still need to show off some of the wonderful fishing from around the area. You can see the current winner of the contest and find out how to enter at the end of today's show. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, glad you're along with us today. We are still about as far south in Texas as you can go without crossing over into Old Mexico. We are out of South Padre Island, but we're actually about a 20-minute run south of there in the Brownsville ship channel, or the port of Brownsville. We're chasing the wily snook, one of the most difficult fish in saltwater inshore in the state of Texas to catch. We've actually caught one of them so far, and the good news is we just caught another one. However, we had some audio and camera problems with our main camera. Thankfully, the little selfie cam, the suction cup cam I had on my windshield, saved the day. So let me walk you through what happened. As you can see, we are right here on some rock riprap. And I've caught a lot of snook in Florida off of mangrove roots and docks, but here they like to get on any cover they can find, and that includes rock riprap. So I fished down this concrete that falls off into fairly deep water. I had my little loose custom speed stick inshore rod and a little soft plastic shrimp imitation on a lead jig head. Threw it up on these rocks, bounced it off those rocks a little bit, and a good snook hit it. I fought this fish and fought this fish. Now, one of the first things I did was backed off on my drag because this fish wasn't coming in anytime soon. The fish actually jumped a couple of times, screamed off some drag before I could ever get control of this fish at all. Now, the next thing I did was went down and got my net. I knew I wasn't going to be able to handle this fish with my bare hands, so I finally got the net, got it up there close to where I was. I just about had this fish in the net the first time, and it took off a second time, screamed off some more drag. So I had to, again, hang on, fight this fish. I wasn't going to get in any hurry. I didn't want to lose the fish. I just had 10-pound fluorocarbon line on. But finally, after this fish screamed off drag 2 or 3 times, I was able to get control of it and finally got it in the net. Got it inside the boat, and it flopped around a little bit before I could finally corral it, get control of it, and it was a great snook. Probably estimating somewhere in the 28, 29-inch range, maybe close to 30. Again, that's just a guess. I didn't have a tape measure in the boat, but a great snook, only the second one we've been able to catch here in Texas in 3 or 4 full days of fishing. So it is not for the faint of heart. Lots of casts, but finally caught a really nice Texas snook. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it and give you a few more hints if you want to book a trip down here, but I'm going to advise you to not book an entire trip just on snook, and I'll tell you why coming up just in a little while. But we did manage to catch this one really nice one right here. We turned it back, not keeping any fish. I don't even know how long they have to be kept here, but again, we're putting all these snook back that we catch today, and in fact, everything we catch here as a matter of fact. But the Brownsville Ship Channel, the only catchable population of snook in the state of Texas, we put quotation marks around catchable because you got to fish really hard for them. Let's get you some more fishing and lake reports from an insider reporter near you.
Hey guys, this week's Tennessee Kentucky Report is brought to you by Orion Coolers. You know, Orion Coolers is without a doubt the top cooler brand on the market, and a cooler is an investment, so buy one that's going to last a lifetime. Buy one that's going to suit your lifestyles. If you'll go to orioncooler.com, you can see how between the color combinations, the attachment and accessory options, the Orion Cooler is the last cooler you'll ever need. Hey guys, the fishing in Tennessee and Kentucky right now is pretty good. We're in that late summer, early fall limbo where the fish get kind of weird. You can find some that are still doing the summer patterns. You can find some that are starting to do the fall pattern. The cool thing is they're really starting to group up right now, and kind of they're a little easier to find because they start to school. The bait are starting to migrate from deeper water into shallower water, more of a fall pattern. Let's talk about where to go to find some fish. Douglas Lake in East Tennessee, they're biting really good right now. Center Hill is another lake that I plan on spending some time on in the next couple weeks, and the fish should be making their migration from the main lake back into the creeks, and schooling activity should be at a premium. You should be able to catch them on spinnerbaits and topwaters around the bluff ends. Lake Cumberland's going to be really good right now too, kind of another highland type reservoir. And this is the time of year where I'm going to throw a topwater bait a ton. And when I get a blow up or two, I'm going to slow down and try to come behind it with maybe a swim bait or something like that. So guys, it's awesome time to be here. You can catch them a ton of different ways. We'd love to see you here. God bless.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Tracker Boats. It's more than a boat, it's a tracker. Mercury Marine, go boldly. And Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. We're at the Brownsville Ship Channel today trying to catch snook, and I promised you earlier that I would explain to you why I would not recommend you plan an entire trip just around doing this snook fishing. We've had to fish really hard, several trips before now and 2 days on this trip, and actually this trip we've done better. We've actually caught 2 snook. You saw those earlier. And we actually had 3 others either on or blow up on a topwater. So we saw 5 snook in a 2-day period. This is really difficult fishing, not a lot of bites. Now, one thing you do is you catch some bycatch along with the snook while you're trying to catch them. We caught a couple of speckled trout. We caught a mangrove snapper, and we actually talked to someone who had caught 41 of those fishing for them, some of the best eating anywhere up and down this coastline here. But this is very difficult. What I would recommend you do is to actually go up near South Padre and go in the bay and let either Sammy or Clayton Mock take you speckled trout or red fishing. We went with them. If you missed that show earlier in the season, we caught some good speckled trout on some beautiful grass beds, clear water, throwing plastic jigs up around those, and caught some really good speckled trout. You're looking at a few of those. You can bring the whole family also and stay at the Schlitterbahn Resort. They've got great rooms overlooking the Gulf of Mexico and the beautiful white sand beach and the blue water there. They've got great restaurants. You can eat right on site, and of course the great water park there with all the slides and the lazy river right on the beach at the Schlitterbahn Beach Resort. Finally, we're fishing out of the Mako 21 LTS. What a great boat, top of the line. This is the Cadillac of the Mako series, but they've got a boat for everyone all the way down to the Pro Skiff model, so you can see all of those at either the Mako website or on our website. Go to foxsportsoutdoors.com, click on the Archive tab, and then click in that search bar and type in Mako, and you'll see the Pro Skiff video that Captain Rob Ferris did for us, and you can see the LTS video that I did. You can look at all the details of either one of these two series of boats, the Mako boats like the 21 LTS that we're renting today. Time right now to get you more fishing and lake reports from where you live.
This part of the program is brought to you by Egret Baits, makers of the new Voodoo Mullet. The Voodoo Mullet has a serrated body wiggling action that fish can't resist, and it comes in two sizes to match the hatch wherever you're fishing. So try a Voodoo Mullet and let the fish do the rest.
Well, fishing along the Gulf Coast has been outstanding the last couple of weeks. Over in Mississippi, this is prime time for black drum. The giant black drum move into the coastal areas. They often move into Biloxi Bay. There's lots of 20 to 30, 35 pound fish, and they'll take gulp jigs very well. You can sight fish for them. Sometimes you'll see their fins come up or a big boil. They're really not very good to eat when they get so big, and most anglers just enjoy the fun of catching them and then release them unharmed. You can catch them on gulp jigs, any type of a scented type of bait like that. And you're also catching redfish too. Mississippi coastal fishing in these bays and estuaries has been outstanding recently for red drum. They're catching them in the Pascagoula Marsh area, all the way over toward Bay St. Louis, and also in the Biloxi Bay area. Over in Alabama, triple tail fishing continues excellent. They're around the flotsam in Mobile Bay. You can sight fish for them, run along until you find those fish, cast to them. In Georgia, Hurricane Irma is still in recovery mode in the southeast part of the state. Anglers are starting to get back out on the water, but it's going to take a little while for that water to clear up. Up off Savannah, Captain Judy Helmy says the inshore fishing for redfish, trout, and flounder has been very good around Savannah. Well, that's it for the southeast coast. Get out on the water and take a youngster with you when you go.
This week's Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi Freshwater Fishing Report is sponsored by Southern Saltwater Fly Fishing Magazine. This destination-oriented e-zine covers the great saltwater action on the South Atlantic and Gulf Coast from Maryland to Panama and the Caribbean islands. Subscriptions are free at www.southernsaltflyfishing.com. Now we're officially into the fall season, and nighttime temperatures are hanging right around that 60-degree mark across the three-state region. This gets the fish stirring around and ready to bite. Now to catch some real slab crappie right now, head over to Mississippi's Lake Washington near the town of Glen Allen. It's the place to be for some real crappie action. This old 3,000-acre oxbow lake off the Mississippi River is noted for giving up some big fish. In September, the best tactic is to troll for the paper mouse, but there is a secret to the fishing. You want to target the water that's more than 20 feet deep in the mid-lake region, but you only want to get those jigs down about 4 to 8 feet. This time of year, the fish are surprisingly shallow, even in the heat of the day. Your best bet is to tip those jigs with a live minnow to seal the deal. For some channel catfish action right now, Georgia's McDuffie Public Fishing Area near Augusta is the place to be. Use chicken livers on the bottom for the best bet. In North Alabama, the Tennessee River is giving up a lot of largemouths on Lake Gunnersville. Look for these fish to be feeding around the abundant grass beds.
Be sure to join Fox Sports Outdoors again next week, Thursday night at 6, or catch the repeat airing Sunday morning at 8:30. And you can always watch the latest episode in full HD on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Plus, catch up on all past episodes by clicking the archive button. And see lots of our how-to and product videos by selecting the How-To button. Join our online fishing community. Just click the like button on our Facebook page for access to daily posts with lots of fishing news, videos, and frequent giveaways. And stay up to date with all the latest fishing information and photos by following our Twitter feed. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Luz, fueled by passion, driven by innovation. Feel the difference. Gene LaRue Bass Baits and Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leaders in soft plastic lures innovation. And Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro segment, where viewers get expert insights from professional insiders. This week's question comes from Kevin, who asks, is there a book or video you would recommend to learn some of the more advanced bass fishing techniques? For the answer, we checked with 2015 Bassmaster Classic champion Casey Ashley.
That's a tough one. I don't really know of a book or a video that I've ever read that would help me other than reading Bassmaster magazine. I mean, you know, that's the pros pretty well telling you the hottest thing going, the hottest baits, how to use it, when to use it, when they've used it, the success they've had on it. And that's probably the biggest help that there is out there on the market right now.
Thank you, Casey. If you have something to ask one of the pros, simply visit our website and follow the Ask the Pro link to submit your question. Now it's time to give away a new pair of sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
Back at the boat ramp, and time right now for someone to win a free pair of Costa sunglasses in this week's edition of the Costa Catch of the Week contest. Here's this week's winner. He's Colton Brock of South Congaree, South Carolina, showing off a 60-pound flathead catfish he caught in the Watery River in South Carolina. If you'd like to be our next winner, just go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com and click in the Costa Catch of the Week box on the right side of the front page. And if you'd like to see all of the Costa frame and lens styles, just go back to our homepage and click on the Costa logo. There you can see all of the Costa lenses, including all the different colors, the 580 polycarbonate and the 580 glass, and you can see all of the frame styles and colors, including the frame style I was wearing on this week's episode. This one is called South Sea. Next up on the gear segment, there is some specialized gear that you'll need if you want to fish for some of these snook here in Texas. Now, as far as the baits go, it's pretty simple. You start with a topwater early in the morning. That's a big old Zara spook. Once the sun hits the water, you need to go to a soft plastic bait. That's a little plastic shrimp on a 1/4 ounce lead jig head. You'll need fluorocarbon line because the water is very clear, and I doubled it up for a liter because there are lots of things that can break you off and cut you off, including the snook's teeth. That is the Luz Custom Speed Stick Inshore Series rod, perfect for both of these baits, and that's the Luz Super Duty Reel, geared up to reel in a big snook in case you hook one. I often hear people say, I can't help how I feel. And you know what? That is the truth. How we feel is how we feel. The real problem begins to occur when we start making decisions based on feelings, or when we act the way we feel. Wise and successful people learn how to manage their emotions because emotions don't always line up with facts. Wise and successful people learn to do the right thing and make the right choice regardless of how they feel. And one more thing I'd like to mention, there are lots of ways you can watch our show and all of our past episodes. You can watch on the website, you can watch on our YouTube channel, or you can watch on a free app called Waypoint TV. Download it to your tablet, your PC, your Mac, or your phone, and you can take our show with you and watch it anywhere. From South Padre Island, until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.